Hey, hey.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Love and Pain podcast, where the Love Doctor and I talk about love, relationships, and everything in between. I'm your resident single lady advisor, Pain, who is an experienced single lady on the quest for balance. And this is the Love Doctor. Take it away, Chuck.
Hey, what's happening? Yeah, I'm the love doctor. Like I said before, um, I used to be out here dating a lot of different people, and just spread my love around. And then I decided, after having a self-reflection, that I should concentrate all that on one person. And after I did that, my life changed, and I figured that I got a fresh start of life because, like I said, I was out here, I was hurting a lot of people by not being honest, and I made a change, and now I just my outlook on life is a lot different. I'm a lot happier, and I'm not wasting my time. So that's where I'm at right now, and I just, hopefully everybody out there, there's somebody out there for you. If you want to find love, it is out there for you. But tonight, we definitely are going to go through and find out how you can vet people and things like that. So, so how was your weekend, Miss Champagne?
Oh my goodness. My weekend was pretty good. So I worked, there was an Alice in Wonderland type of, what was it? Alice in Wonderland play. So I worked that play, I bartend, I get some liquor popping. So that's what I did. And then of course, I had to sit there and watch the Super Bowl performance with Usher. I am an Usher fan. I enjoyed. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, definitely. Of course.
Yeah. Did you have a dog in the fight, or were you just like,
I was just rooting against San Francisco, basically. So, yeah. So I was so glad that they won. Because they was trying to make it like Brock Purdy, the quarterback for San Francisco, was going to be the next Joe Montana, and this and that. And I was just tired of hearing it. So I was just so glad that they ended up winning. And yes, I did see that halftime show.
what did you like it? How did you think? What did you think?
And I actually did a piece on it. I think overall, just judging the performance, the way it started off. I'm like, what is they doing on the grass? Like, what are you doing? You don't have a stage? You know what I mean? I'm like, I know it ain't gonna be like this. But then, as he went along and he got on the stage, then I seen that hey, they were just doing it like the HBCU type of theme in the beginning, and then they got on there, and then it, it got lit after that. So I got to give him his props. It was good. He showed his versatility, especially with the skates. That's dope. I mean, for you to go on there, don't fall, or you ain't gonna never let that down. So
nah,
but he did his thing. Right.
I saw that there was a lot of people. I won't say a lot. I think we get too crazy with the word a lot. But there were people who felt like his performance was mid. And I can't roller skate, and let alone roller skate in a choreographed dance. I can't do that. So I'm kind of thinking like people have some high like standards and expectations. But did you think would you call it was a mid performance, or is it just like, I'm not an Usher fan, he's good enough,
I mean, I can see how they could say that, because especially like I said, I think the HBCU piece was kind of put together a little bit. It didn't seem like it was choreographed that much, and then he freestyled at the end, and he was poking his chest out at the end like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think the whole thing was choreographed, but the choreographed parts was sweet though. He did his thing, and like I said, I mean, hey, he was out of pocket though. I don't care what nobody say. With Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats, hey, he was out of pocket right there. Like I said, Swiss Beats, he was in the stands, and his son was in the stands. And like I said, he came up on her and just like hugged her and just, leaned back. And he looked like he almost tried to like, give her a little pat down there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like he was trying to be slick. And like I said, he's already been known to destroy other relationships. You see what happened with Keke Palmer and them. Like,
oh my gosh.
Dude just asked about her, like, what you doing so close to Usher? And they just had a full-fledged argument, and she filed a restraining order on him because of that. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, really? Why? If you're in a relationship, why would you go out there and embarrass your dude like that? Because I always told people, even like before I got married and all that stuff, I told anybody that I was kicking with, hey, don't make me look like a sucker out here. Straight up.
Oh man,
You know what I'm saying? You know, the male ego can be fragile. So
that's
you
very
got to be
fragile.
careful if you're in a committed relationship.
You can't
to
date
be out here doing. Come on now, y'all got to use better judgment.
She's an actress. How is he going to act when he sees her kissing other dudes in film?
Hey, look, like I said, and what I always say, like, with the roles that you choose, you can choose the roles. If you go onto if you acting like you're devil worshiping and things like that, you're still doing it. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's acting, you're still doing the act. So you could choose your roles. Like, look at like somebody like Cicely Tyson. Like, she could have played the sleazebag roles, but she played classic roles. She didn't want to play like out here on being a hooker and things like that. She always played like a really solid, good woman. And I think like that's kind of the woman that I always wanted, was somebody like a Cicely Tyson in the role that she played. I didn't know her off the camera, but the roles that she played, I wanted a good, solid woman that was down and that was, that was really, she was just really into, being about life and family and things like that. She was a classic actress.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many. The only film I remember Miss Cicely Tyson in was a story of Miss Jane Pittman, and I don't even remember that at all. I just remember her.
Wow.
I don't like. I was not exposed to a lot of Cicely Tyson growing up. Like I don't remember the roles that she played in. But I wasn't really into actors and actresses growing up, so that's like a word that doesn't really do for me. But enough about my weekend. What about your weekend? How was your weekend?
It was great. I barbecued, got me some of them beef ribs on deck, chicken. I had the whole spread: mac and cheese, baked beans, potato salad. I did it. Yeah, I did the whole spread. Oh yeah, are you kidding me? And see, that's the thing. Like, I've always been a person that my family's always come to. Like when we have major events, they always have me cooking. So I've been doing this for 30 years probably. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a person that's been the cook, and I've never been with a woman that could cook better than me. So I like things the way I like it, and I go and handle it. I have no problem doing it.
Okay, I mean, I like it. It's some guys feel like that's woman's work to cook, so that's why I was curious to know that. I've known some guys who likes to turn their nose up completely, like, I'll never do that. So it's always interesting to me to see men who actually cook and they do it because of a genuine, like, I like to cook. Or I mean, do you like to cook?
Right. I just like the food to taste like how I like it to taste. I've been with people that had signature dishes, and and I stuck around long enough to steal it, and then I used it for myself.
Okay, hey,
don't show me your recipe around me because I'll get you.
Yes, that's good. I'm not a cooker, so I like to hear that from you. I like to hear that. I like men who cook. My dad cooks for me, so I'm a little
okay.
Yeah, sometimes he can throw down, and sometimes it's just about nourishment. So depends on the day you pick them up.
That's right.
So let's get into it. Did you have something in the news that you wanted to point out, newsworthy, that you were following, and that you're like, hey, I gotta talk about this?
Yeah. Other than the Swiss Beats issue, where like I said, he changed his post at like 1 a.m, and I actually did a piece on that. If you go to the Love and Pain show. I actually did a piece on this Swiss Beats, Alicia Keys, Usher situation, and I broke it down for you. So if you want to go there and check it out, you can. Other than that, there was an issue last night with Shannon Sharp and Mike Epps. Mike Epps already said that he had got called to be on the show for Shannon Sharp, and he declined it because he said he didn't want to be on there with Medea. Because there's always a rumor out here that Shannon Sharp is suspect, because he has a personal stylist that he hangs out with a lot, and he takes this personal stylist to like the games. He hangs out with him more than he hangs out with his kids. I understand that's your stylist, but bro, you gay. I can't kick it with you at the game like that, dog. They be like, that's like, and then he gave a shout out to the guy when he left Undisputed, and he was saying, hey, thanks for being there for me all this time. Like that was his woman. So he's done a lot of suspect things. And so Mike Epps called him Medea, and he said he was going to pull up on Mike Epps. And you know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, Mike Epps going to have to prove who he is when I see him. They talking crazy. And then I think they're going to link up at the All-Star game in Indianapolis and talk face to face or whatever. But yeah, man, they was he was talking cash money.
Oh my
Trust me.
God.
Yes.
So wait, so he didn't want to go on his show because of his extracurricular activities?
That's what I mean. That's what Mike Epps said. I don't know if it's a joke. You know, comedians, you don't know when they're joking sometimes. There's a fine line between it, but there's always a little bit of truth in each joke. So, we don't know. I mean, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. I don't know. So, yeah.
Wow. Oh, I mean, they just had Monique there. I think that Club Shay Shay is about to be the next stop for a lot of your comedians to come up there to
Right.
air their laundry, because they just had Monique who was on there, who, she has her experience with the industry. So
Right.
that is crazy. Well,
Yeah.
I discovered this weekend that Dwayne Martin he has a fiance, Dwayne Martin, who was married to Tisha Martin from
Right. Yeah.
Tisha Campbell. Yeah, Tisha Campbell. She's now Tisha Campbell. She's no longer Tisha Campbell Martin, but she played Gina from Martin, and he's actually getting married and to a younger woman who is very light skinned, which I don't have an issue with that. But who is it? Cat Williams said that these comedians and people, they become famous and they start getting these light skinned chicks, which Cat Williams was dating a light-skinned chick as well. So I don't understand that, but you bring it up. But he's actually getting engaged to this young lady, and I don't know how old she is. She looked very young. She looks like she maybe, I don't know that she's black. Maybe she got a little bit hint of blackness, but she's very not dark skinned. She's very I don't know. She's light skinned.
Right.
She's very fair skinned. There you go. She's very fair skinned. And so many people were eating him up in the comments, talking about how he lived off of Tisha, because that was like a lot of the running joke on that show he was with Kevin Hart, Real Hollywood Housewives, about how he doesn't have any money and he wasn't making any. So a lot of people are going in on him on the comments, men and women, and it's just messy. It's just messy, and I don't think there's an issue with them getting married. I sat down, I listened to it. I understand people's dislike of Dwayne Martin, or just they just don't care for him because of things with Lisa Ray, and also you had someone who said, I hope this is okay with Will, because again, they're saying that him and Will had something going on. Yeah, they had something going on as well. So I thought that was interesting. So I'm actually, after I jump off of this with my YouTube channel, if you guys want to come with me at 9:00, we'll talk about that and a host of other things that was hot last week. So, all right, you ready to get into the topic?
Did you say something? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Oh, I said, okay. Are you ready to get into today's topic?
Oh yeah, let's go. I'm ready. Oh yes.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, you ready? So you were sitting on ready. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So this week's topics are date questions you should ask when dating. So I like baseline. So when we're saying dating, are we saying in the beginning when you're just meeting somebody, right?
Oh yeah.
Or are you saying, okay, all right. So go first.
I mean, and as it progresses too.
True.
Okay. And we need to make a disclosure as we talk about questions while dating. First of all, these questions will only be valid if the person is a truthful person. So make sure that you're not talking to a person that's a sociopath or a person that's trying to just tell you what they want to hear. Now, a sociopath is defined as a mental health condition in which a person consistently shows no regard for the right and wrong, and ignores rights and feelings of others. So that means this is a dangerous person, whether if you're in a relationship with them or not. They can cross you with a straight face. I mean, it's so bad to where they can even convince themselves that the lies that they're shooting are the truth. And you can see this displayed on different formats. Like if you watch divorce court, or say you watch paternity court and couples court, where they actually take lie detectors knowing that they telling a bold-faced lie. They can trick the test, and they know they lying.
Yeah.
And they still end up going on there and taking the test, thinking that they can convince the system that they're lying, that they're telling the truth. But your subconscious mind cannot control the test or your heart rate or anything like that. But you can try to program yourself to actually believe in these lies. So that's the disclosure. Make sure you're not dealing with a person like this, because like I said, when you're asking people questions, they can tell you what you want to hear, and you need to verify the things that they say and also take into consideration that people are going to reveal themselves. So you have to really pay attention in the beginning, because you have questions just like a movie. A movie is art imitating life, and it's in three acts: the setup, conflict, and resolution. But as you see in most movies, the person will reveal themselves in the beginning, but the main character may not know that until the end. So pay attention in the beginning to these questions that we go over. So I'll go ahead and let you get started. You got it. You want to start off with the first question that you should ask?
Well, I wanted to go back to sociopath, because I feel that if you've never truly identified a sociopath before, or if you've never encountered a sociopath before, how do you know the person you're talking to is a sociopath? Like, what signs are they giving you that, hey, this guy's a little suspect? What should a young woman or man should be looking for?
Me personally, a lot of times it takes a minute to discover a sociopath. I've known sociopaths like for years, and I didn't know until the end, till you actually like maybe needed them for something or whatever the case may be, and then they just completely just just totally disregard you. Like this guy that owned he owned a restaurant, and it was in one of the movies that I did. I'd known him for like 4 years, and like I said, and he was like the coolest guy. I used to go there and buy sandwiches from him all the time and whatnot. And he was just so cool. And then at the end, but I was noticing like he was here and there. He would ask me for like money. Like when I got paid to do the movie, he was like, "Hey man, let me borrow like $500 real quick, man. I'll give it right back to you like next week." Like, and I'm like, bro, I don't know about that. But anyway, he ended up doing a contract job for my cousin, and he took the deposit. It was like $1,500, and he never came back. And I knew this dude for like 4 years. He had a shop and everything. And he just, I'm telling you, he was a con man. You would not know. He seemed like the nicest guy on the surface. He was super cool. And you never would have thought that. But like I said, sociopaths are very difficult to detect because, like I said, they believe their own lies. And a lot of times, like I said, they are highly manipulative, and they can run game like because they believe it. So it's really hard to find out, but you got to always watch people's actions. Actions tell the whole story. If somebody like, you ask them to do little things and they don't do it or whatever, they're going to show themselves eventually, but you just got to be careful.
They do. Sometimes, unfortunately, it's too late. I was watching this true crimes, and this woman had dated this guy who was a pastor. And I mean, and naturally, you see a pastor of a church, you automatically believe, oh, he's a pastor, he's a good, especially when he has a congregation. But sometimes those pastors be the biggest wolves in sheep clothing, right?
Right.
And she dated him, and he lived in her place. They were trying to do it the religious, biblical way, where he had her spot, his spot, she had her own spot. So they ended up they got married, and then they moved in together. And once they moved in together, she started seeing the signs, like bing, bang, boom. So it was like 4 months. She was like, nah, I'm out. So she got out of there. He ended up going to her school, shooting her and 2 other kids, killing another kid.
Wow. That's crazy.
Wow, right?
That's crazy.
Like, yes.
Man. And another prime example of a sociopath that I want to tell y'all, like, if you guys ever seen the series Welcome to Sweetie Pies, the lady that owned it, Tim Norman, her son, was a big example of a sociopath that you'll ever see. Like I said, when you first meet him, he seems like he's nice, engaging. He's smiling all the time and everything. And, he's a mama's boy and this and that. But he will do anything for money. He's money hungry. He couldn't even control himself till at the end where he killed his own nephew for insurance money. But he revealed himself earlier in the series, if you watched it, where he had a manager that made a misrepresentation on the books where she ended up getting like $50. Or it might have been $200, and he got super mad, like he was almost ready to kill her. So things like that is how you kind of reveal yourself. And you just got to watch those signs.
Yeah, I do watch anger. Sometimes the problem with signs that I see is that you don't know it's a sign until things go awry. Because sometimes people who like anger, you get into anger, like it's a natural feeling. Somebody is angry, they blow up over small things. They might have had a rough day. Doesn't necessarily mean they're a killer, So it's but I do notice if he gets angry over if I feel like if the anger doesn't match the issue, I dated a guy who he blew up because his sister had left. She had put trash in a trash bag and she had left it on the deck.
Mm.
And he got so angry. And he was like, this bitch, she left all this trash on the
Ooh.
deck. And I'm like, well, you're the man. Aren't you supposed to, like, in my house, if the woman put the stuff in the trash, the dude take it out. So to me, that didn't seem weird, but it didn't match up. And then as time went on, I saw more and more of those traits. And it was like, oh, I got to get out of here. So when you, and sometimes it takes you a little bit longer to catch on. So all the more reason why you should date longer, right? Quit jumping in bed and having kids so
Right.
quickly and get to know these people. So let me jump into my first question that I
Okay,
have.
let's go.
So I a lot of my questions were from other people around. I also
Okay.
pulled some from the Berkeley Wellbeing Institute. It's a therapy for wellness and mental health and everything. And they don't focus just on women because men and women and everyone in between watches this. So I
Mhm.
wanted to make sure that I found questions that you can ask guy, girlfriend, whomever.
Right.
And I got some funny ones too. So one of my favorite questions to ask when you're dating is, are you married? Is someone married to you? Are you in a relationship? Is someone in a relationship with you? Are you completely single? I think that you have to ask that in 14 different ways. What is their relationship status? You can't,
Right.
I couldn't tell you how many times I started talking to a guy. Now I ask a question like in the beginning, but I started talking to a guy and dating because if you're on a dating site or if someone asks you for dinner, naturally you're like, okay, you're single, I'm single, we're going out. And then you go out and it's I'm in a, I'm separated, or yeah, I got a girl, but we're just a little having a little fun.
Mhm.
And you wouldn't even
Right.
think you gotta ask questions like that.
Right. Right. That's right.
Sociopath.
That's right.
Sociopath. What what about you? I mean, is that a question is that a valid question to ask? Is that redundant or
Right. And like I said, again, this only applies if someone is being truthful. So all these questions have to be verified. Like I
yeah.
told you in the beginning, I'm gonna give y'all some game. All right. I'm gonna
Okay.
give y'all some game.
I'm
Certain
learning.
things that I used to do in my as my former self. The first question I would do would always be a probing question. Okay.
Okay.
And I want you females or even guys do this because women do some of this stuff. The first thing that I would ask them is, so what are you looking for? And, they would tell me, well,
Mm.
I'm looking for, this, I need a guy that's going to be there, I'll take care of my kids and, spend time with me, do trips, this and that, or whatever. So based on her response, I would customize my game and tell her
Boom.
everything that she wanted to hear based on the question that I asked. So be
Mm.
careful telling somebody exactly everything that you want to hear, everything that you
Mm.
want, because they can manipulate that and try to do that. They might try to be romantic for the first couple months just so they can hit that or whatever the case
Mm.
may be. Or they might, try to come to your church, or they might try to, open your door for you in the beginning just so they can manipulate and get what they want to do. I used to do this. Trust me. I ate off of
Mm.
that. That was my
Ah,
thing.
I know you look like you do. You look at
Like,
the way your beard is
stop
cut.
playing.
I know you do that. And
Whatever.
you know what? I have guys who do that to me. They're like, "What are you looking for?" I don't give them that. Because I didn't know that because you think you again like I believe in kindness of strangers, but unfortunately, not everybody feels the same way about that, right? So
Mhm.
when people are like, "What are you looking for?" I just hit them. I won't even tell nobody on here what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a kind man, and
Okay.
I'll know that
That's
when I
smart.
see it, right?
That's
That
smart.
throw that bait because then they don't know what they're like. What the fuck? What am I going for
Right.
here? You know. But
Right.
look at you. Oh, this is a good one. I'm about to get all the tea. Okay, let me go next. Let me
Oh
go
yeah,
next.
bro. Look, I can give y'all. I'm telling you, I was out here. This, I base my whole thing off of manipulation and just getting to know someone and using their weaknesses against them. Like I knew all the weaknesses. That's why I always went and I asked questions about the childhood and things
Uh-huh.
like that, just so I can know where I probe for weakness. And then once I
Wow.
had that weakness, then I knew how to expose that. I might bring up, hey, I know your daddy wasn't there and stuff like that, but this we're gonna make this thing right. You know what I'm saying? You come in and you plug into that role that they're looking for because they're thirsting for something. And that's what
Mhm.
you do. But beyond the game, let's go into questions that you should be asking. Okay.
Okay.
Like I said, the big stuff is easy to match up on paper. Like I said, if you've watched Married at First Sight, as you see, they are mathematically aligned with each other, income wise. A lot of times, religion, all of them, they don't ever have any kids. So it's almost like the perfect setup on paper. But 9 times out of 10, as you see, most of them don't work out because it's the little things that will sustain your relationship. Okay. And the first thing that you should ask is, you know, now in the future, I ain't gonna say this is the first thing, but you should, I'll always ask, like, so tell me, like, what are your sleeping patterns? You know, how you, and what I mean by that is, if you're going to coexist and sleep with each other, especially as you get older, that is a big thing. Like, some people like the lights turn completely off and they like complete silence, and other people love to have the TV on, like me. Like, I gotta have noise on at nighttime or I can't go to sleep.
We're divorced already, bro.
What'd you say?
We're divorced already.
See what I'm saying? That's important. I'm telling you, because I won't get a good night's sleep if it's completely quiet. I don't go to sleep like that. You know, and we've developed that over the years or whatever. And in that too, I asked them, like, so do you snore? Because I was with somebody that was a perfect person. Well, I ain't gonna say they was perfect, but you know, we was good and everything. But oh my gosh, she snored like a grizzly bear. I'm talking about, I always used to try to go to sleep before, and then if I couldn't, she was like, oh my damn.
Bro, did she know she snored like that? Did she know she had
like I said, stuff like that, you're not going to know until you sleep overnight with somebody. So maybe, you know, if you do like a trip or something like that, go somewhere out of town after you get to know them, you know, but things like that down the line, you won't know that in the beginning. So stuff like that could be deal breakers, man, because you got to have a good night's sleep. And some people like, you know, I had to recruit myself, you know, that wasn't going to work.
That's a good one. And just for some of the people, someone else says yes, because that snoring is not the business. I have to go to bed first.
See, that I'm telling you, that's real. See, I'm giving y'all real things from a functional relationship, straight up. These are things that will sustain your relationship if you listen and you pay attention to these things, because it's hard. You got to coexist at the end of the day. Like I said, the big things will bring you two together, but the little things are going to sustain the relationship. Okay. All right. Hold on. Is it your turn or my turn?
It's my turn, right?
Okay.
So I don't do a lot of questions when I date. I do like you. I probe, but I'm a saleswoman. I'm really good at sales. So someone says SMH Chuck. So that's our first comment on this. Yay! Hi, LaShawn.
Now we got comments. We do have comments on the side, but I just, like I said, since we're new on this software, I couldn't really get them last time. But now, we're gonna be posting all the comments. So any questions y'all have, make sure y'all post them on the comments, and we definitely will try our best to answer your question to the best of our ability.
Okay. All right. Good.
Okay.
Good,
go ahead.
good.
I'm sorry.
So, all right. So, and one more thing. Someone says, I was married to a heavy snorer for 9 years. It's annoying, but it's not going to cause a divorce. So, you know, and that's one of those things of what's your 80-20 as well. But for me, I do ask questions, but I also probe just like you. So one of the things I look at is I try to ask them about questions about their relationship with the women in their family. You know, what's your relationship with your mother, your sister, your aunt? I listen to how they talk about women. I listen to how they comment about women in the media. I listen to how they treat women, because I feel like that can show an indication of how they feel about women in their interaction, period. Does he feel like, women are you're just here to be seen and not heard? Does he have a respect for women? Does he have a contention because he had bad situations with women in the past and he never got it resolved? So those are one of the questions that I ask, because, you know, if you have a daughter with somebody, it's like, this man is going to be teaching your daughter. Do you want your daughter to have that teaching in the world? So that's something else that I do. Go ahead. What's your question?
But just to respond to that question, see, for me, I don't necessarily, I can't really take too much. You could take that, like, if they have respect for women and things like that, but how the relationship is with their mother, you know what? Like I said, I'm very close to my mom. My mom's only like 17 years older than me. I know she's probably watching or whatever, but man, look, just because they your mother don't mean they right. Okay. So me and like, look, like my mom get on my nerves. Let me just say it. All right. I'm just keep it real. She fusses and nags, like she real sensitive, and she just pushes my buttons. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, so I really didn't necessarily want it. I wanted a woman with my mom's spirit, but not necessarily to act like my mom, because my mom gets under my skin. I'm serious. And she knows it too. You know what I'm saying? We probably get on each other's nerves too, but that's just the type of relationship that we have.
Right.
So I mean, just because they're your mom, like some people might have a mom that might be, overbearing, or they might be a drug addict, or you just don't know. So, you can't really judge it just based on how they are with their mother, because mothers are flawed. You know what I'm saying?
mean,
No one's perfect.
Everyone is flawed, but how
Yeah.
you manage them, I think, is show. So I had two scenarios, right? Both of
Okay.
these guys' moms were trash or on garbage, right?
It was
One
trash.
it was on trash. One guy, his mom was on trash, but he never talked to his mom with disrespect. Like it was just like, hey, you know what? Thanks, mom. Like he knew how to manage that situation. He was in control of his emotions. He wasn't gonna sit here and cuss his mom out. His mom got out of hand. It was like, all right, mom, thanks. I'll see you later. That lets me know that he knows how to manage his emotions, and he at least has a handle on it. The other guy, same thing, mom's garbage, and his mom, great example. She said, you see how he treats me? If he treats me like this, how you think he's going to treat you? And he came from me. His whole thing was like, well, you never know how moms are. He said what you said. Hated women.
Right. I mean, it sounded like his mom was hating on him. That's what it sounded like.
I mean, but she was giving some facts. Like if you're not respectful to your mom, what chance do I have?
Right.
So I'm not saying that you got to kiss her ass.
Listen, I'm telling you, moms can get on your nerve. Like there's certain things about moms, how they can, like, you may not, like I said, my mom could just do her frown her eyebrows, and it'll just get under my skin, or she might just say a little something that just gets under my skin. So can't nobody else do that to me but my mom. Which is I never cuss my mom. We got into heated arguments. Okay, let's say that. But again, I still have a healthy respect for women, and I don't know disrespect my mom or anything, but I'm just saying you can't really base it on the interaction between mother and son. You can't base it on that. But I mean, you can't get it. I'm sorry, say it again.
If a woman doesn't have a good relationship with her father, do you take that into account, how she has a relationship with her father, or is it just like you can't take that into account?
Well, and on that situation, like, remember the
oh, here you go. Let's go.
No, listen. So on that, the new norm is dysfunction. So most people don't have their mom and their dad in their life. I mean, as far as being married or whatever. So dysfunction is the new normal. Now, it really just depends on if she was abused by someone, like in the family or something like that. I think that would have a bigger influence on how her disposition is for the male, for males, because she might think that every man is out to get her, and she's in a survival mode. So again, her goal is to win. Not winning is right. So it don't matter if she's right or not. She just wants to win because she's in a survival mode in her household. Whereas, right should be always the head of, how you live. But some people just want to win at any cost. They would drive your whole life down and whatnot. So you just got to be, you got to be careful. It's really, it's really hard, like I said in the beginning, to find these things out about people. You can ask them and they could tell you this and that. But if somebody has been abused by somebody that's a close family member, then a lot of times, that's going to be, that'll be a big issue that you have between male and female.
I mean, I agree. And some of these men have been abused by their mother. Like my biological father, somebody said, don't be talking about my grandma. She a Virgo. She loves her son. That's for you. My dad doesn't have a good relationship. That's your daughter. Hi, Imani. I don't think I've met Imani. Hi, Imani.
Yeah, I don't think you met her before.
No, I did not. But my dad doesn't have a good relationship with his mother. But it's not even necessarily just about the relationship, but it's like, okay, you had a fucked up beginning. Did you resolve that? Did you go to counseling? Have you healed? So these questions, they should never be used as a solo indicator of somebody, of who they are. these all questions are multiple things for you to help flush out, because like you said, there's some people who hide it very, very well. So that's just a flush out. Like, this is not the be all end all. If he said he's never spoke to his mom ever again, it's not like I'm like, you out. But I am paying attention to things. But go ahead.
Right. Okay. Hold on. They can have a good relationship with mom and sisters and still go from 80 to 0 with you. I mean, that's the truth. Because some people, like even sociopaths, look at like Jeffrey Dahmer and people like that. They love their mom to the highest regard, but they were serial killers. So, you can't, because a lot of times, remember, the closer relationship you're going to have normally is with your mother. And just because you hold her in high regard don't mean they're going to hold you in high regard. And a lot of times with that situation, the mom will actually might come first in their life over you. So you got to kind of watch that too. If somebody is that close to their mom to where their mom is like their woman. So, you got to watch that. Again, I mean, sometimes, like I said, I've had to tell my mom to stay out of my relationships and things like that, because she only wants to, she has good intentions, but she could be, she could try to meddle sometime. And look, I'm going to make the decision on me because I have to wake up in this bed and this is how it's going to be.
Right.
Okay.
What's your question?
All right. Next question. As we move on. Okay. I always, like in the beginning, I always ask, like, if they want kids, and this depends on where you're at in your life. If you're younger, you ask if they want kids or not, because remember, in my previous marriage, I married a woman that was older than I was, and she couldn't have any children. I already had 3 kids. I had 2 daughters and I had a son, but my son was autistic, and I really wanted to have another son, someone that I could talk to and pass my legacy down and whatnot, but she couldn't have any children. And I overlooked that in the beginning, but after a while, it did become like an issue because I really wanted. So I was subconsciously out here in the streets. I was trying to make me a son out here because my wife couldn't give me a son, and that's not good. I should not have even entered into that situation because there's no way that I could have produced a son in that. And I remember I was only in my late 20s, so I had I had plenty of years, to be producing kids out here, but that was a big thing, and that was a mistake.
Okay, that's a smart one. That's something I ask guys, and I've had a guy who was honest. He was like, I got stuff going on in my family. There's a lot of mental disorders. I don't want to pass that on to a kid. So, and he was a nice guy, and I really appreciated him being honest up front, because he could have been like, oh yeah, I want kids, and then go through the scenario, and he didn't want kids. So I really appreciate it. And that's something that I ask, because I still, I want kids, whether naturally or adoption. I still would want to have kids because I just never had that. Not my own.
Right.
A question I also ask is, what is your retirement plan? Like, after you get done with work and all this other stuff, like, what do you plan on doing? Are you going to be a traveler? Do you plan on staying in the house all times? I've seen people get together for 20, 30 years, and then they get to the retirement years and they start divorcing. And it's like she's like, I still got life in me. I'm a travel. And he's like, I just want to stay at home all the time. And it causes such discord because he doesn't want to see her travel and she's not staying home. So even though that can change, like, you're not saying that's always, it could change. It could change on a process. But I think that's kind of important to kind of see where it's at in the beginning, because I would hate to get there to that late 50s, late 60s. And then he's like, nah, I just want to, I don't want to do this. Man, all you need to ask is how many kids she got and what time her man get home. See, these are his friends. These are not my friends.
Oh my goodness.
These are Chuck's friends, not my friends.
Yeah.
You're go.
That's one of my boys that's still out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So hey, disregard that one. He out here in the streets. But okay, so another important thing that you should ask, and especially as you get older, are there any health issues that you may have? And
yes.
That's very important. I'm gonna just give you an example. I was dating this one girl, she was a nice little chocolate thing, thick, you know what I'm saying? And she's a cute little thing too. And she told me, that she had lymphedema. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
Oh,
I kind of
yeah.
only know Lymphedema from watching 600-Pound Life, but she wasn't
Mhm,
big like that. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
She had real nice curves and stuff like that, but she always wore yoga pants. Now,
mm.
when I got them yoga pants off and I seen what I seen, ugh, oh, it was terrible. I had to get up out of there.
Oh my gosh. So
I
wait,
had
her
to go.
personality wasn't enough to
No,
overcome that?
no. It was I'm talking about it was disgusting. No, I couldn't do it, man. It was terrible. Like I'm serious.
Like you're the
And listen,
worst.
listen, no, I'm not. Listen, you have to be
Okay.
truthful from the beginning. If you're
Yeah,
not, then you'll be dissatisfied later. So why not
that's
get it out the
true.
way in the beginning? So you got to ask the tough questions, man. Or you're gonna be stuck in some stuff that's not gonna work.
That's true.
Communication should be A+. That's the biggest thing. And you should you need to, if you guys are going to be serious, then you need to put all your flaws on the table from the beginning so we can work
Yeah,
it out. If you hide
that's
your flaws and then we find it out later, then we already invested a little bit, and it's just going to be worse, man, because you done wasted all that time, and we could have just nipped this in the bud in the beginning.
it,
So yeah, health issues are very important. Make sure you ask that, because I'm telling you, people be having issues, and they might have something, they might only live another 5 years or something. You don't know.
I mean, if they only live 5 years, I hope that insurance is up the policy.
Nah, see,
But
you always got the business.
I mean, hey, that's what it's for. We and but that is like your estate planning. Like that's important. I think Black people are the worst at estate planning, and we're
Right.
now getting into like, okay, long term. I think especially me and my older years, like, what is your long term plan? What is your estate plan? I think someone said my retirement is to farm back on country. That's my retirement plan. I have a farm. I want a farm. I want to have a farm with a couple animals. Like that's my plan. So,
I heard
but
you.
you know that I think that's important. But another question I like to ask in dating, and I always ask people like, what's your thoughts on religion and spirituality? Like,
Mm,
where is your head at with that?
that's a big one.
It
Yes.
is. How do you what governs your life? Because
Right.
those are core competencies that for the most part will stay the same unless something dire happens.
That's right.
Are you Muslim? Are you Christian? Like what is your thought process? Some people can make it work and I've seen some people who are like, I'm Jewish and they're Christian and we make it work, which I think, just based on the fact that it's one of the three religion, that makes sense. But if you're a Jehovah's Witness and you're a Christian, like a Baptist type of Christian, that might make things a little bit hard for you, seeing as though one is more stricter than the other. So I think it's very
Right.
important to talk about religion and how important it is to you.
That's very important. I was dating someone, and like I said, I've dated a lot of people, so I got every scenario for
Yeah,
you.
you got story.
But,
Hey.
but she was. I mean, she was. She had her stuff together.
Mhm,
She had all the qualities that I basically, that I was pretty much looking for. I mean, she had everything.
mhm.
But she was very deeply religious, and the way her church was the center of her world. She
Oh.
actually spoke, up there and everything. And when I came and met her, she introduced me to her pastor, and
Mhm.
she got on there, and then when the church service started, she started speaking in tongues and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Mm.
um,
Like, nah.
and then yeah, and then she wanted to like start, she wanted to get married real fast. Um, because of course she didn't want to live in sin, but she wanted to do it like super quick. And I'm like,
Um,
well, okay, listen, I'm going through a transition. I'm trying to get things together, but
mhm.
let's continue to talk, and maybe in the next couple months, we can decide, maybe we can try to work this thing out. And no, she was like, what? Oh no, she was just like, man, she blocked me from Facebook. She just blocked me off the rip. So like I said, it wasn't genuine. She was just looking for somebody to fit into her system, go to her
Mm,
church, and
mm,
somebody just to play that role for her. And no,
mhm.
man, I'm not doing that. I'm only going to be my genuine self.
Right.
Sometimes, like I said, if your religion is not overbearing for you, then it can work. But if you guys have two different strong convictions,
Mhm.
then it's probably not going to work, because certain things that that they do in certain churches. I mean, hey, it's almost cultish.
It
How they do it.
is. Like,
For
they
real.
have them chokeholds sometimes.
Yeah, I
And
know.
and it's like that's how kids get molested and people get
Yeah.
killed because the church, I
Right.
when I was dating sites And I mean, I don't know. We're being honest here. So I'm on
Okay,
dating
good.
sites. When I read their profile and they're like, they mention God in there 29,000 times, I'm like, oh, it's not going to work. Not because I don't love God, but I know that they hold on to the religious aspect of it more so than I do, because they're going to go to church every Sunday, and you'll see
Right.
that they're church every Sunday. They're going to go to Bible study. I have nothing against anyone who does that. I don't want anyone to be like Champagne is a Satanist and she hates Christianity. Know how the internet gets. But I do believe in I do understand how important that is to people, and I respect that. And I
Yeah.
respect it enough that I wouldn't put myself in that situation, because I'm not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy. We're going to be on Fatal Attraction.
Right. Hey, that's very important. That's a good one.
What else? What you got, man?
Okay, let's see. Let's go back to okay, let's go. Yeah, let's go back to things that are okay. Another thing that I always ask, like, when was the last, how long ago was their last relationship? I think that that's
Yeah.
really important, because you can find out where they at on the healing process by
Mhm.
seeing how long ago did they broke up with somebody. Now, if they just
Mhm.
broke up with somebody like a couple months before and they were in love with that person, then you're a rebound. I mean,
Yep.
they're looking for somebody to put a band-aid on and stop the bleeding and make
Mhm.
them feel better so they can heal and move on. Because
Mhm.
they're not really looking at you as a whole. They're only looking at, for you to fill that pain void with them. And that can that could be bad, because like I said, people, it takes a while to heal. I always tell people, when you break up with somebody, give yourself some time, and just get all that energy, let that relationship completely, let that chapter close completely.
Mhm.
Don't carry
Mhm.
any baggage onto your new relationship, because if you still have lingering feelings, then that person might be able to come back. They might see that you winning now, and they be like, oh no, I can't let them move on. And they could come back and they can mess your whole thing up. So always
Mhm.
make sure you ask how long ago was their relationship, and how long they were together, and things like that. And as you said earlier, like, how do they talk about them, about that previous person? Some
Mhm.
people actually talk about their exes with a lot of respect, but
Mhm.
those are the ones a lot of times too that I found out that will get back with their ex, because they
Mhm.
haven't went through, all the stages of of exception. So, you got to be careful.
I think it like all things, it depends. Some people I've seen some people talk crazy about. I've seen that happen several times. They talk crazy about their ex, and you're like, oh, he
Hmm.
he for me, because he don't fuck that bitch, right? And he goes back to the baby mom. So I don't know. And that's happened a couple of this last guy I dated, and this was actually probably one of the best dating situations I had ever been. It was one of those situations where I believe that when you date people, dating should be about discovering yourself and exploring and seeing what you have and learning more about yourself. And also, like, if you're a person who's never been in a relationship, you don't know how it necessarily feels to interact with the opposite of sex. So
Right.
I think that's a good way to do it. But he was a guy who had went through a divorce, and like he talked about his baby's mom, she was abusive. His ex-wife, respect, his ex-wife, she was abusive, and she was
Hmm.
this, that, and the other thing. And he feels good about it. And then, like, after 6 months later, he's like, I think that's my person. I want to make it work with her, and I want to be with her.
Hmm.
And like, I mean, I appreciate it. Like, I am a person who, one, he was not someone I wanted to be with long term. It was just when he told me how fresh the divorce was, I was like, oh, this is just for fun. And I was fine
Right.
with that, because I had just got a relationship, so I wasn't looking for anything. But
Hmm.
I do think that is very important. I've had some guys who they'd only been out for a few months, and then they ended up going back into the penitentiary. I mean, the ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, whatever you might call it. Another question that shit, I had it. Another question that I like to ask when I'm dating is have you done any jail time, or have you gone to prison? Now, I don't ask that straight out, because depending on who you are, but I feel like that's a part of you. It's a part of you. Um, but that's something that I'm going to probe for eventually. Have you ever had experiences with the jail system? Is it an automatic no? Not really. But it depends on what you went in there for. So I dated a guy who was trying to shoot a shot at me, make sure he's on my live. He had went to, he had went to prison for manslaughter, right?
Mm, mm,
That's an automatic, like, I can't date nobody who like, if you killed somebody, it needs to be truly self-defense. Not even like I thought about it, I got mad, I went out and I shot him. Cause
mm.
that's just not who I am. I mean, I don't know how you feel about murder.
Mhm.
It's not one of my things that I'm into. It's not one of the things that I wouldn't be okay with that. So I rather, and I'm gonna find out. Like, you could be honest, or I'm gonna Google you. But that's something
Uh,
that's something I want to know.
right. I mean, that's a good question. See, the thing about it, the way that the judicial system is, um, it's not really favorable for people of color, as we know.
Mm.
And on that situation, like anybody can kill under any under circumstances. So you don't know what the situation was that happened to why he killed someone. So I would actually ask that person, like, hey, get details, like what happened, like,
If it's not self-defense, I'm not interested.
right,
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He's just
right.
not the guy for me.
Right, I feel you, but I mean, I listen. I completely understand. But all I'm just saying is, anybody is capable of killing. They may not have killed
Oh,
yet. You might meet
yes.
somebody and you push them the wrong way, or they on some type of little psycho binge or whatever the case may be one night, and they might start capping. You don't know. You're taking a chance with whomever you get with. You don't know what monster or demons they have inside of them. So
True.
yeah, I mean that is a like a I can understand why you feel that way, but they do this on on jobs and stuff like that, and not just with murder, but just how the system is. Like people they prejudge based on that. It's so easy to get in trouble. Like I mean, it's like it's hard to not get in trouble. That's how easy it is. It's hard to go through life and not get in trouble.
I don't know, man. I guess it depends on where you're from. I guess it depends.
I'm telling you.
Because a lot of the black men I know, they've never seen the inside of a jail or a prison.
Right. Yeah. Like, listen, 25% of black men have been in jail or are currently in the judicial system in some type of way. I mean, this is systematic. So it's easy to get in trouble. Like somebody can just make up stuff and you could go to jail just based on somebody's word. I mean, just look how they like convicted like Bill Cosby and this and that. It was just based on somebody saying something from 30 years ago, and he got arrested and went to jail with no proof. Like, I mean, come on.
He said that he did it though. That's why he got convicted.
He did not. Yeah, but okay. On that, listen. On that one situation, he got tricked into it because that was supposed to be a thing for the financial. Because they were getting sued. He was getting sued for money. So they illegally used that statement to press charges on him. But that he didn't really he didn't admit that in criminal court. They just used that in the when they were suing him, and they used that oath. But all I'm saying is, regardless, that's how easy it still is to get in trouble. It's just your word against theirs. And I wouldn't necessarily use somebody having a criminal record because I got a record myself. You know what I'm saying? I do. And I haven't been able to get jobs and stuff like that in the past because of that. I've always had to create my own job because I couldn't get hired and work in the corporate world. But just so happened I had the creativity to, establish my computer shop, where I had my computer shop for 15 years. Then I had to reinvent myself and go to film school. But I couldn't do a lot of things because of that. And that doesn't make me any less of a person. I wouldn't harm anything. I'm the most loving person that you could ever meet.
Well,
I would never try to harm anyone.
You didn't go to jail for murder though. So you wouldn't be for
murder. But listen, somebody could lie, and you never know. Somebody anybody could get caught in a murder charge. There's a lot of people that's innocent.
You do the search, and then you research. I mean, it's my dad went to prison, and he's like, "Oh, I'm okay with you having that rule." He doesn't recommend me to date anyone who's gone to prison, but he also just like I said, you need to understand the surrounding things, right? If you went to prison for trumped up marijuana, Khalil Browder, remember that case of that young man who went to prison for poor guy, but like something like that. No, it's not a no. Like that's some trumped up. No, like yeah, we could date.
A lot of it is trumped up. You think they just do that with weed? They do it with everything. When you go down there, I'm trying to tell you, take it from somebody who know. when you go down to the system and you ain't got no money for a lawyer, everything is stacked up against you. You might just take the charge just to have a lesser sentence or just to get on probation. You might not even be guilty, but you know, if you take it to trial with all white people, the chances of you getting convicted of something that you might be totally innocent of is high because the system is not conducive for people of color. So,
and that's why you ask questions. Yeah, I got you. I'm just not doing murder though. I don't think there's
I feel,
anything.
hey, look, I understand. I get it, but just remember, anybody can kill, under the right circumstances. That's all I'm saying.
True. But once they break that seal, that's why I'm just like, it's because what happens is, especially as a lot of black men, one, you always hear that women only want to date the Pookies and Ray Rays who's been in prison. And that's why we have a lot of single moms running around. So now you date somebody who's been in prison because you give them a chance because, you black men, hey, I gave you a chance, you went to prison. And then he screws you over. He do some prison shit. And then it's like, see, that's why y'all shouldn't be dating these Pookies and Ray Rays. So it's just like you can't win. But hold on, we're coming to the end. Give me one more question that you ask when dating.
Okay, let's see. We went through most of the questions that I had to okay, all right, let's go here. You can ask things like, and these are compatibility things too. Like I told you, the big things are easy. Another thing is, what type of affection do they like to give? Like some people, kiss in the mouth. Some people don't like to kiss in the mouth. Some people are more affectionate. They like to hold each other, hold hands, PDA. What are your expectations when it comes to representing our relationship? Are we going to be public with it? Are we going to just keep it a secret for now? And then maybe if we get married later, we'll post it. These are things that are important because some people say, hey, if it ain't on Facebook, it ain't legit. So do you both feel that way? Because remember, you got to take in consideration everybody's feelings when it comes to that sort of thing. Because, when you're in a relationship, the other person's feelings matter too. That's what that's what a lot of selfish people don't understand. It is two of you in this, and you have to communicate and see what this relationship is going to look like going forward. So those, definitely ask that. With the affection and things like that. So going forward, how the relationship is going to look like.
And my last one, since you're on that, I think it's important to ask.
Thomas. My dog.
All right, Thomas.
Matter real quick. That's my dark skinned twin right there, Thomas. I was light skinned. He was dark skinned. We was. I'm telling you, that was my dog. That's my bro, huh?
I said you was salt and pepper. Salt and pepper.
I'm telling you. We was monsters out here in the streets. I'm telling you.
Oh gosh.
That's my dog.
On the show eventually. So one question I think is very important also, especially if you're looking at marriage. Ideally, I will ask, how much sex would you like a week? I find so many people are sexually incompatible. And I hear so often that you have women who say trying to fuck themselves to get that ring. And they're having so much sex at the beginning, because they're trying to put on for them. And then you get married. And true enough, you are going to see probably a decline in as much sex because you have more going, especially if you never had kids and now you got kids. You got to work a little bit tougher. But I think it's important to ask, like, okay, we get married. Like, how much sex are you looking to have a week? How much sex do you need? Because I feel like there's some people who have really high drives and they're with people who have very low drives. And, I think that's a cause for cheating for some people because, that's important to them. That sex is important to them. It releases stress or it makes you feel closer to that individual. So I think that people need to talk more about sex and not just what's your favorite position, but like, what's your sexual expectations? Yeah. That's all right. True. Well, thank you so much for listening to the Love and Pain podcast, Dr. Chuck. How can we check you out? Where can we see some more of your stuff? What's going on for you in the future?
Okay. First of all, I'm gonna respond to the last comment. That was Kevin Stringer. That was my dude. I went to high school with.
You were done.
Two pieces. No, that was it. No, I just wanted to say was shout out to people that's they comment. So we gotta respond to them. But like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of different things. I'll be doing interviews with people in different walks of life. He just said he needs to be on here. We're going to have to definitely set up an interview with him. But we're going to probably end up doing a second show. Champagne probably is not going to be available. I don't know what her availability is, but I'll be interviewing a lot of different people on the same channel. And this is the Love and Pain Show. So come here for different content. And everybody out there, please subscribe. We need to get our subscriptions up so we can get monetized, so we can do this even bigger. And we're just going to keep coming every week at the same time, at the same place. So make sure, y'all subscribe right now and support us. And so we can keep going, because we just getting started. This is only like our 3rd show, and we're going to keep it moving.
And so much feedback. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we hope you come back every Monday. It's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for me. Chuck, what's the time zone for you?
Yeah, so it's 4 o'clock Pacific time.
Woo! Yeah. And thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. You guys have a great evening.
All right, see y'all next week. Peace.
Bye. See ya. Thanks for joining.